Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Shane.
Welcome to episode 75, Clash of the Champions 20.
The 20th anniversary.
The old gang is here. The old gang is here. Instead of supposed to be like the whole gang is here. I messed up my delivery the first time.
But it's the old.
The old gang is here.
Not young gang.
No.
The old gang.
And we'll talk about all these old fuckers. I was very happy to see them.
So this is the 20th Clash produced by the WCW. That's not why it was the 20th anniversary.
No.
It was because it would take place on the 20th anniversary of professional wrestling being shown on the cable network Turner Broadcasting Systems, TBS.
The Superstation. Is this back when it was the Superstation?
Yeah.
I mean, is it the only Superstation? Or was like USA also a Superstation back then? Because Superstation kind of meant a different thing.
WGN's a
WGN.
Superstation.
Oh, okay. That's Chicago, though.
Yep.
Yeah, that's from Chicago. So this show would take place on September 2nd, 1992 from the Center Stage Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, which is the same exact place that they tape WCW Saturday Night. So that's why through this entire show you see a sign in the background that says WCW Saturday Night.
Yeah. It definitely has like kind of a slight studio vibe.
That's
like
exactly
not quite like the
what it
Saturday
is.
morning, like, you know, when there's like five rafters, old school style, but it still has that vibe, which is just fun.
Yeah, I was wondering. It wasn't until I actually went and looked through the notes that, because I was looking at it thinking this doesn't look like, I mean, they had the red carpet and whatnot, the stuff happening backstage, but the actual venue itself just looked like a regular old
It looked like
blah show.
like a 5,000 cap max, maybe small. It was small, if that. Yeah, it was small.
I mean,
And
I
half of it
don't
was,
even have, I don't have a...
The old gang and their wives in suits, and then the children who like live in the area.
I don't even have an attendance for this show because...
No, I mean, you know, they probably just gave tickets away on the radio.
Yeah, I mean...
But I, for one,
don't
would have
wanna-
loved to be at this show. Look at all these beautiful old guys. I wouldn't know, you know, I'd pay an extra $5 for Gordon Soley to sign something for me.
You just want to hear him say suplex.
I'll have him write suplex on my arm and then get it tattooed.
But since we are in Atlanta, Georgia, that means Shane had to figure out some southern
had to
food,
do it to us?
something southern for us.
Yes. A little something from the South. A little something representing Georgia. A little Southern comfort, you might say. Yeah, so the last time we were in Georgia, we had that amazing, awesome, better than the show we reviewed, grilled pimento cheese and fried green tomato sandwich. That was...
I mean, that is the all-star of our food installment so far.
Yeah. I don't know, that crab cake was...
Crab cake was good.
Very tasty.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Your green tomato sandwich.
Well, you know, at some point we'll have to have a best of list, and we'll have to have them, you know, side by side, all together, so we can choose who the exact best favorite
We'll do a
of the
bracket.
Year.
A single elimination tournament.
But yes, we're back in Georgia, so I figured I brought food last time. We'll do something beveragey from Georgia this time, since, you know, WCW loves their southern states, Georgia being one of the ones that really, really loves. So we're going to have lots of options coming down the line from Georgia. So we'll play it back and forth. But
it's going to get to the point where we're just like, well, this week we have a peach. we bought one peach and we split it up.
I just brought some peach knee-high.
Oh,
we're
there
just
we
going to
go.
drink that.
Peach knee-high and vodka, the official drink of Georgia.
But yes, I brought an adult beverage inspired not only by Georgia, but a movie that was based in Georgia from way back when, Gone with the Wind. The Scarlet O'Hara is the name of the drink.
Oh, okay.
When I typed in
Does it make you want to fall down the stairs if you drink too many of them?
I think if you drink enough, you just
Probably if you drink enough.
don't give a damn. Give a damn. Was she the one that said that, or was that him?
No,
Clark
that was
Gable
Clark
said.
Gable.
Yeah, that was
He
Red.
said, frankly, Scarlet.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. But I do kind of give a damn for this little beverage. It is Southern Comfort with cranberry juice and a little bit of lime juice. Pretty simple, pretty tasty. This one has
Simple and tasty.
Mm-hmm.
This one has not only cranberry juice, but I couldn't find just plain cranberry juice at the store I stopped at, so I got a cran apple raspberry mixture. So this one has
why not?
a little splash of something extra just to...
Southern Comfort, honestly.
Yeah.
You can drink it straight. It's pretty easy to drink.
Very easily.
But it doesn't look as pretty in these colorful
margarita
glasses.
Yeah, these ones are like plastic margarita glasses for like backyard sloppy use.
Hey.
they just bounce off and you catch it right back up.
But yeah, pretty tasty, nice and refreshing. If you make one of these and you want the recipe, you'll just have to jump on Twitter and find out.
Well, while they're sipping those down, a movie came out to the theaters by the end of the month. Last of the Mohicans.
Little Daniel Day-Lewis.
My man, Michael Man. My boy, Michael Man.
Your man.
Yeah.
Your man.
My
Michael
man,
Your main
Michael
man, Michael
Man
Man.
with 2 N's.
Thoughts of this movie?
It's not my favorite Michael Man, but it's good.
It's not my favorite Michael Mann movie. What is your favorite Michael Mann movie?
Oh, I mean, the answer is probably Heat, but there's also Collateral and Thief are pretty up there.
Collateral is up there for me, definitely.
Collateral rules.
Collateral is...
That one was a very, very
That was a movie- I
I think
surprising
it's
movie.
a very underappreciated.
I saw that
Oh, it
movie
was.
in the theater, and like me and my friends, like in high school, we rented it and like watched it a bunch of times. And then I hadn't seen it in forever, and recently I went through the whole Michael Mann filmography, and I was like, when I got to Collateral, I was like, God damn, this movie's awesome.
And see, now I got to look up and see what all movies he has because I can't think of him by.
I mean, Heat,
Heat's-
Miami
Heat's-
Vice,
yeah.
Collateral.
Miami Vice is a mess, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But Collateral is
Like
like, if of his later
Enemies.
stuff, Collateral
Yeah,
is where it's at.
Collateral is the
Oh,
best
he
one.
did
of his-
Manhunter?
Yeah, Manhunter's really good
He did
too.
the original fucking.
Yeah, man, I really do
Hannibal
like
Lecter movie.
Manhunter, the first vaporwave movie. it's got some weird vibes, but
The Insider.
Last Mohican's very good.
Ali.
It's weird that
The
Michael
Aviator.
Mann made a period piece.
Does
like
this
that.
movie get made if Dances with Wolves doesn't do as well as...
Oh, was this after Dances with Wolves?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like it was...
This was a huge hit. This was like a big 90s hit that was like, yeah, like every dad's favorite movie. My dad still talks about this movie sometimes.
I just
I'm
remember
like,
when it
alright.
came out, all I kept thinking was, I don't want it to be nominated for all the awards because it's going to win. And I don't remember who all it was nominated against, but
It didn't win a lot of awards.
No.
Yeah.
but it just had the potential to because I mean, it was
That's the kind of
Daniel
movie it was,
Day-Lewis and
yeah.
Madeline Stowe.
It was early Lewis too. I mean, the man's made like 13 movies. Yeah, Last Mohican's very good, but not
I would-
top 3 Michael Mann's.
Definitely
Maybe
not.
not even top 5.
I'd have to like go over his filmography a little bit closer to probably give you a top 5, but
Yeah, it's a very watchable movie. It feels like just a cable or HBO classic where it was just on TV a lot and
Yeah.
nobody has anything really bad to say about it, but it's not very many people's favorite movie unless, you're 62 like
you
my
love
dad.
Indians.
Yeah. Native Americans, Matt. Daniel Day-Lewis, or he's not even Native American at all, is he?
No.
He's just like the adopted son.
Avatar or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's one of those kind of things.
I
It's
wanna
a
be one of you.
Yeah, totally fine movie, but I mean, just watch Heat twice.
And Collateral 4 times.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of Thief. But Last Mohicans, we all give it a thumbs up.
Oh, definitely.
Soft thumbs up.
Director, Public Enemies, Collateral, definitely. Ali, definitely. The Insider, definitely. Heat, definitely. Manhunter, yes, must. If you're a fan of any of the Silence of the Lambs movies, you need to see the one that started it all before it became, Anthony Hopkins.
William Peterson's greatest role.
Yes.
I've only seen the 2 Silence of the Lambs movies. I've only seen Manhunter and
Can
Silence.
anyone name another William Peterson film? Because the only thing I ever know he was in CSI.
I don't know, man.
I can picture him in something. Wait,
Was William Peterson the guy that was Hannibal? or was he the actor that was like the
He's the
detective?
detective.
He's the detective.
Oh yeah, he's got a weird energy in that movie. But I mean, he's a weird looking guy.
That's why
not
they
in a bad
cast
way.
Edward Norton.
I guess that's why he was on TV. I don't know. Anyway, Michael Mann's a great filmmaker. Last Mohicans, pretty good movie. Cable classic.
Speaking of cable classics,
Fear. He was the dad in Fear. Like, I know I saw
Shane's
him in
going
something.
going down a
I'm gonna
Wikipedia
go on
hole right
on
now.
a deep dive of
Yeah.
William Peterson.
He's got IMDb up on one screen.
That's right. And two
Wikipedia
screens
up
in
on
front
the
of me.
other. He's logging his
I'm
letterbox.
multitasking. I've been working all day. I'm drinking. Now I'm looking over 2 scripts, and as my friend Alex would say, IMDb. IMDb.
Oh,
IMDb.
okay. Okay. I was like, I don't get the reference.
Yeah,
It's like
she's
Alex
Scottish.
Trebek.
I may leave the pause in there.
Definitely should.
But speaking of, what was my segue?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh,
Sorry.
something about cable classics.
Oh yeah, cable classics. Speaking of that, Clash of the Champions 20.
The old gang is here.
We open up on an old clip of Gordon Solie and Andre the Giant before the tradition. 20 years on TBS. We get a WCW scrapbook.
I love this scrapbook gimmick. I love
All right,
it.
you guys might not be old enough to remember this. You probably definitely not, but it was very reminiscent of the old All My Children opening.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
On the screen.
I even know. I can even picture that.
Yep. That's all I could think of when I saw it. Is I even started hearing the music playing in my brain because, yeah, I watched it.
But it opens up and we get footage from throughout the history of WCW is shown before closing up, and the logo for Clash of the Champions comes on the screen.
Yes, I love the old clips.
Yes.
I'm here
They were
for
great.
it. This is cool. It's a smart way to do the whole thing.
We then go outside the theater, and Tony Schiavone and Missy Hyatt are there, who welcome us to the show. They then introduce Gordon Solie and Andre the Giant.
Yes.
He's right there in person.
Yeah, he's happy to see old friends. I mean, it's kind of sad because Andre, he's wearing like the pirate shirt from Seinfeld, but he's got the crutches on and he's not looking too hot.
Yeah.
But it's good to see him, and it's cool to see all these old guys that we're going to see throughout the show. But I was like, I just didn't expect to see Andre really again.
Yeah. Of
let
all the
alone
people,
here.
I wasn't expecting him.
One of the reasons we watch this show is because of this appearance of Andre the Giant, because it would be his last TV appearance before his death.
Well,
I wanted to say goodbye to Andre one more time.
yeah, totally. And I mean, just for the opening and all the senior class on this show that shows up in this red carpet thing is enough of a reason, honestly, in my opinion, to watch the show, just because it's just cool and it feels nice and it does have like a big night feel, but without it being like too ridiculous.
Agreed.
It feels special.
Missy would then drag Tony away as Ron Simmons and his wife would arrive to walk the red carpet.
And his wife, she was looking extra regal. Very, very 1992's kind of a Whitney Houston hairstyle with the above the shoulder, hair sprayed everywhere, white and gold. Was it a gown? Was it a jacket? I'm trying to remember.
It's a 20-year turnout. I think it was maybe a scarf. I don't know. A
Ah,
shawl.
she was looking good.
Yeah, she's looking great. She was there with her champion, the champion, our champion.
We see more people arriving in limos, such as Cowboy Bill Watts, Hank Aaron, who worked for TBS at the time.
Yeah, I was interested. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
I figured he worked for TBS or was like an announcer for the baseball
The
games.
Braves,
I almost said
yeah.
matches. It's not called a match in baseball.
I was
This isn't
confused at
tennis.
first because he doesn't play football, so. But baseball, TBS.
Hank Aaron,
totally
he
makes
hit
sense.
more home runs than Babe Ruth, right?
He's the home run king.
That's right.
Bill Shaw, the president of WCW, Jim Barnett, Bob Drew, both executives for WCW, would also show up. And then Bruno Sammartino would show up.
The King of New York.
Oh, Bruno.
Now, I don't remember him ever being in the NWA,
I mean,
but
No.
maybe he was, because obviously these shows were on much earlier than I was around, so...
yeah, he could have done some territory stuff, but I can't imagine he was ever on top in the South.
No.
Like, yeah, my dad said something about Haystacks Calhoun recently, because my dad remembered as a kid Haystacks Calhoun coming around in Massachusetts and, like, you know, trying to get people excited to go to a local show or whatever. And I was like, it's like, oh yeah, I know the name or whatever. And I was like, what about Bruno San Martino? He's like, oh yeah, I remember like that name too. Like, you know,
really weird.
Yeah, it's Bruno San Martino, not a Southern guy.
Haystacks Calhoun. That's the second time his name has been mentioned this week because they actually brought it up on Monday Night Raw.
Oh, really?
It's crazy.
Yeah, Nia
believe you
Jax
watched it.
or Shayna Baszler, one of them. They were having an argument with each other, and they both decided to pull out these old names and old digs from the past. And
Haystacks Calhoun.
anybody that's not in their 50s probably has no fucking clue.
So guys, get your YouTubes up. Next week we're doing a Haystacks Calhoun watch along.
Sounds like a cartoon
doubtful.
character.
We'll ring the cowbell so you know when to hit play.
Yosemite Sam and Haystacks Calhoun.
But we haven't seen Bruno Sammartino since Halloween Havoc 1989, which was episode 34.
Yeah.
He was the ref for that horrible Halloween Havoc match that we watched.
So this is me with my fingers crossed.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Spoiler
'cause there's
alert: the
been
next
some horrible
episode is Halloween Havoc, and I need a good Halloween
Muda
Havoc.
Flair versus Sting, or Muda Funk versus Sting Flair.
Which on paper
Sounds amazing.
Yes.
That one sucked.
But that's the thing about wrestling sometimes.
Sting then arrives on a Harley Davidson, and Missy looks like she's about to have an orgasm.
Oh, come on. That's a little...
She
She's
wasn't the only one.
hot to trot, Matt. Let's keep it classy.
Hey, she wanted to ride on the back of his motorcycle, and
I mean...
I wanted to kick her ass out of the way so I could have a ride on the back of it. Cause
Yeah, can I get in the sidecar?
sexy Harley leather daddy Sting going on here.
God, I love pre-Crow Sting.
You know you love the little goatee.
I don't like the goatee.
Soul
Like
patch.
the transition to Crow Sting, even that was very attractive because that's when the hair was going from bleach to normal brown, and
I don't know. Give me a
You'll see.
Give me a buzz cut on a big buff boy.
No fans of Joker Sting?
There's a
I
Joker
honestly
Sting?
didn't watch too much of that in TNA. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hopefully we'll never get there.
Yeah, we will at some
I
point.
mean, I hope we do. I'd hate for it to end when WCW dies. Sorry, spoiler.
We then go inside the building. Teddy Long's there with Bill Watts, Dusty Rhodes, and Atlanta City Councilman Rob Pitts. And Pitts delivers a proclamation that September 2nd is WCW Day in Atlanta.
So that's like what? Tuesday here? Like next Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Yep.
All right. Well, you know,
A few weeks ago,
whenever you hear it, but I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna break kayfabe, and you know, I'll send you guys a happy WCW day text message because that's probably all it's good for at this point in time.
Follow us on the Twitter machine, and
For all your happy
we'll shoot you all
WCW day
kinds of
needs.
WCW Day messages.
Dusty then says, "We're going to get funky like a chicken."
Oh no, he does not say that.
I know.
Like a monkey, funky like a monkey, baby, daddy.
All night long. Actually, I couldn't understand what he said.
He said monkey.
Did he
You know
say
what
monkey?
said. Yeah, of course he said monkey.
I don't know.
It's in my notes. My notes say monkey.
I didn't write.
What if
I
you just
wrote
funky like a chicken is upsetting?
Dusty and Teddy Long and other other legends behind them.
Closed caption said indistinct.
Oh, that's because he got that beautiful lift.
Teddy then pulls in the Masked Assassin, who we haven't seen since Starrcade 1983, Episode 1. He was the very first person we ever talked about on this show.
Yeah.
Masked Assassin is Jody Hamilton, who is the director of the power plant for WCW.
Oh, okay.
And he teamed up with Masked Assassin 2, who turned into Hercules / Super Invader.
You know what's
We'll see later.
crazy to me?
Teddy also pulls in Thunderbolt Patterson, who we've never seen before, and Magnum TA, which we all love, of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I love me some Magnum.
We then go to Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura at the announce table, and Ventura lets us know that he was still in the Navy when wrestling started on TBS.
And little known fact, he starred in The Predator in 1987.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that fact. They tell us that there's going to be 3 championship matches tonight, but one may be in jeopardy, and Jesse is going to find out why that is.
Get to the bottom of it, Jesse.
I mean, it's Clash of the Champions. We need at least 3 title defenses.
Yes.
So, yeah. Hurry up, Jess.
JR then tells us that you can call in and vote to rescind the off-the-top rope rule.
Do it.
Oh, yeah.
Did either of you grab your phone to make a call to the past?
And then they blurred out the phone number.
I did not, but I said the phone number along with them because I could remember it clear as day.
Oh, really?
1-900-909-9900.
Oh,
Inactive, do not call.
Gosh, you're really earning your paycheck.
Hey. It was the 90s, and their number was 909-9900.
And it was 99 cents.
Yeah.
A second. WCW needed that money.
So we're headed off to our first match. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus stunning Steve Austin with Paul E. Dangerously for the WCW World Television Championship.
And, this is the kind of match that should start all shows.
Every show.
And I mean, you can't get it all the time, but I popped as soon as I heard it.
Gary Michael Capetta then announces 11-year-old Megan Sheehan from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Represent.
To sing the national anthem.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. Johnny B. Bad brings her to the ring, right?
Exactly. I mean, nerves kind of got her at the very beginning, but she turned in a pretty good performance by the end.
Good.
I've seen worse ones by adults.
Yes, I've seen worse ones by people who are actually known as a celebrity for
people
singing.
that have professional careers in music.
Yeah. Anybody ever heard the Fergie one?
I have
Though
not.
it was
There's
funny
something to
that
YouTube.
Paul E. was just like, fuck USA, and kept giving instructions to
the
Austin
genius,
the entire time.
the genius of Paul E. Everyone's here for this cute little girl singing the song, and Paul E.'s just and they're making sure to catch it on camera, just giving Steve Austin notes in his ears, and that's what I want out of wrestling. That's the kind of shit I want to see.
But just to let you guys know about Megan Sheehan, she actually did release a country album in 2012.
Wow. When she was probably pretty old. Not old, but
she'd been 31
10 years.
at that point.
I guess 31.
Yeah, 20 years.
Good for
Have
her.
we listened to it?
Driving down that old highway, you pull over for a mangy stray. You're gonna make me love you.
For Megan, because I think her performance was so good. When I go to sleep, I'm going to put my phone on, find her album on Spotify, put it on repeat, and let it play the whole night while I sleep. Maybe she can get a few pennies from Spotify that way.
There you go.
So, help Megan out.
So this match, there are no disqualifications. And Dangerously will be in the infamous Cornet Shark Cage over ringside.
Yes. And I was nervous because I was like, oh man, he still has his phone. They put him in the cage with the phone. He's going to throw the fucking phone down. And I was immediately upset when the match started. I was like, but you're telling me, I see it. I was nervous the whole time that the phone was going to come down and because it's no DQ too. I was like, man.
See, my first thought was 1992 frat boy Vince Russo is hard somewhere watching this show.
You just wait till the end.
Good old Doug Dillinger has to wrestle Paul E. into the cage. But once in there, Dangerously throwing a fit.
Yeah. You knew you were going to be in there, but I mean, he wouldn't be Paul E if he didn't throw a fit.
Exactly. So we see Ricky's ribs are taped up, as a couple were broken during the match that we covered a few weeks ago with the Miracle Violence connection during Great American Bash. So, of course, what is Austin going to do?
Work them goddamn
He's
ribs.
going to work those ribs. Mm-hmm. But Steamboat fires back with chops, hip toss, and into a headlock, which Stunning Steve escapes multiple times just to be put right back into it. The Dragon climbs up to the second rope, only for Austin to slam him to the mat ribs first, rips the protective wrap off, and follows with a gutbuster for multiple 2 counts. Ricky fights back with chops and goes for a slam, but the ribs are hurting too much, allowing Stunning Steve to hit a clothesline and apply an ab stretch, which Steamboat escapes by making it to the ropes. The Dragon's tossed to the corner, but he leaps up and off with a crossbody, only for Austin to roll through for a near fall.
You can't be doing crossbodies if you got hurt ribs, Ricky. Come on.
Yeah.
He's going to roll you up. Come on.
Stunning Steve goes for a drop kick, which Ricky avoids, and then catapults Austin into the turnbuckles for a 2 count.
I was kind of surprised to see him swat that drop kick away. I'm not used to seeing Steamboat do that, or maybe I am and I forgot. But
I mean, it's cool. It wasn't the best angle, but like I like the step back but still swap the feet of. It's fun. I would not mind seeing that used more often.
Stunning Steve recovers to take Steamboat down with a double leg takedown and attempts a leverage pin for a 2 count. The Dragon then goes for a tombstone piledriver, only for Austin to reverse. But then Ricky reverses it back to finally hit it for the pin, and the no! Steve kicks out.
Sorry, buddy.
Stunning Steve then yanks Steamboat into the turnbuckle, cradling using the tights for the pin, and the Dragon kicks out. Austin sets Ricky up on the top rope and climbs up to attempt a superplex, but Steamboat blocks and pushes Stunning Steve off to the mat, comes flying off with a karate chop, only for Austin to catch him in the ribs on his way down.
No good.
Following up with an inside cradle for a near fall.
Very close.
The Dragon ducks a back elbow, comes off the ropes with a jumping shoulder block for a 2 count. Stunning Steve recovers to toss Ricky over the ropes.
But you know what he's going to do here, right?
But Steamboat holds on
And skins that cat.
to come back into the ring, only for Austin to immediately hit him with a clothesline to send him out to the floor.
And then Steamboat gets kind of cheeky here.
A little bit.
So the Dragon's down on the floor, and he then goes underneath the ring. All of a sudden, he's on the other side behind Austin, climbs up to the top rope, coming off with a flying crossbody for the pin and the win. And no!
Super cute finish, no DQ. Steamboat got cute. I like it. It was fun. It was quick. And also the crossbody, it's like, oh yeah, his ribs were hurt. He fucked up earlier and did it and almost threw the match early. And now he's like catches them from behind, uses that babyface brain, which we all know that heels are smarter than faces. So it's like, it's cool when the babyface has a brain.
As the show goes to commercial, we get more scrapbook highlights, which it does every time it goes to commercial.
I could watch, they do it, and there's a lot of commercials because this is on TBS. It's not a pay-per-view. But I could watch like a 30-minute cut of just the scrapbook stuff.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
So good.
It's so much footage that we haven't seen of guys like the Flair stuff they show. He's just so young, and some of that stuff looks like it was like from the 1920s, but it was probably from like 1978 because just the camera, just technology, Yeah.
When it comes back from commercial, JR and Jesse then throw it to a retrospective video about the great tag teams over the past 20 years.
Like I said, give me all the clips.
We see highlights of the Assassins, the Briscoes, the Fabulous Freebirds, Road Warriors, and the Rock and Roll Express.
And that's our Terry Gordy birds, too.
Yes. We then get an ad for Halloween Havoc. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah, like Madusa's doing some creepy shit and like crawls into like the grossest place, like to the sewer, and it's so good.
Do you know how many years it took to get that saying out of my head?
Well,
because you saw how many times they showed the commercial on this one show.
Man.
Yeah, they showed the commercial all the time.
You just wait for Halloween Havoc 1992.
Jesse is then with Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Michael P.S. Hayes. And I guess Hayes is now the manager for Anderson and Eaton?
Sure.
That's what it seems like, at least.
Yeah. This match, maybe, yeah. Something.
For now.
They've apparently acquired his services or something like that. Or Paulie did, or I don't even know how the hell it worked.
So we're off to our second match. Greg, the Hammer Valentine, and Dirty Dick Slater with Larry Zbysko.
Why not? You know Larry Zbysko can talk.
Versus the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, and beautiful Bobby Eaton with Michael P.S. Hayes.
I was already kind of excited just about this combination. Arn and Bobby? Come on. Why not? We haven't seen a lot of Slater, but we are high on Valentine.
Speaking of Slater, the last time we saw him was Great American Bash 1991, which was episode 57, when he came out to keep Missy Hyatt from going into the ring for that intergender match that was super dumb.
And
That's
there
right,
was just
that
like,
was him.
we can do... You're better than that, Dick Slater. You deserve a little more. Let's put you on the TV.
And Zbysko has his arm in a cast. I have no clue why. I assume he
I thought he was the cruncher, not the crunchy.
Maybe he got crunched.
broke it at some point,
Yeah, maybe.
or maybe it's fake and, you know,
Maybe
he's
they,
going to use it later. Cause
trying to remember, was it something that happened with him leaving the Dangerous Alliance? Did he get
maybe
beat
that's what it
down?
was when he got beat. I thought he just left. I didn't know if they beat him down.
Can't
But
remember.
wouldn't it have made more sense if he
They-
was the one that had lost the War Games with the arm thing, and that's why his arm was in it?
Yeah, or maybe like he turned on them and then they all ganged up on him and slammed his arm in like the cage door. But that was a while ago, I guess. So his arm still wouldn't be broken by now. And if it was,
I
then
don't
we
know.
already would
Barry
have done.
Windham's still wearing a pad on his hand.
We'll get to that. At this
Yeah.
point, it's
So the match gets going with Arn sending Valentine to the ropes, where Eaton cheap shots him from the apron as the match gets going, which brings Slater in to clear the ring with elbows. It gets turned around with the other team doing the cheap shot thing as well, which brings beautiful Bobby in to clear the ring. Things finally settle down, and Eaton gets caught in the wrong corner as Dirty Dick hits a swinging neckbreaker and a Russian leg sweep. Goes for the leverage pin, but Bobby kicks out. Anderson's in to start working on Slater's arm, but Dick fights back, bringing the hammer in to suplex Double A for a 2 count. Arn gets stuck in his opponent's corner, and Slater slams Anderson's leg across the apron of the ring, only for Eaton to come running around ringside to fight off Dirty Dick. While that's happening, Valentine applies the figure 4 to Double A in the middle of the ring,
no.
but beautiful Bobby sees it and runs in with an elbow drop to make the save.
It's a good teammate. Who's the heels here?
They're both heels.
I know that's why I just wanted to point that out. It's kind of a rhetorical question, but we had to say it. They're both heels. We don't see a lot of that.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember that too, because the last time I remembered seeing Zbysko was when, at War Games, where he was breaking away or almost breaking away from the Dangerous Alliance, and they were heels, so I was thinking that made him face. And
'Cause
last
these
time
are
we saw...
A weird 6 names to be like, it makes sense that they're all like in tag matches and they're all great workers, but it was just like, all right, like what's going on here? We got 6 guys, like who's the face, who's the heel, and then I realized that they were both heels, and I was like, cool, I like this. I like matches where face and heel doesn't matter if you're a good guy or a bad guy. Like it's a sport and you just have to win. So like I'm always happy to see that when it's not pointed out. So like who's the bad guy here? Like, or there's like a face turn or something. This is just a wrestling match, which is all I want out of wrestling.
Arn then tosses the hammer to the ropes and delivers a spine buster. But Slater makes the save. Everybody's brawling with Dick sending Eaton out to the floor and looks to work a double team with Valentine holding Anderson. But the ref holds him off, forcing him back to the corner. So instead, the hammer presents Double A to Zbysko, who's up on the apron, only for Arn to duck, and Valentine gets nailed.
Damn
Poor Valentine. The man does not need any more blows to the face.
Right?
Anderson then knocks Dirty Dick out to the floor, while beautiful Bobby comes off the second rope with the Alabama Jam.
Hell yeah.
Double A makes the cover for the pin and the win.
Did he come off the second rope or the top
He
rope?
came off the second rope
Okay, I thought so.
because the top rope
Just
rules
I know.
still in effect.
We're
on
working
this
on
show.
that. We're working on it. Call the 800 number, guys. What was the number?
900 number
900. Sorry.
Yeah. 1-900-909-9900.
for 99 cents.
Number
a
no
month.
longer in operation. Kids under 18, get your parents' permission before attempting to call. Wrestling History X is not responsible.
We'll plug us later.
We're not responsible for any charges on your bill.
Or the angry person that may answer the number because everybody's deciding to call. Yeah, poor Greg Valentine. He just... I've been so happy to see him on the last few shows, and then this one he
He had to get gimmicked.
He was back to old Greg.
Take the gimmick to the face. I mean, he still was
Getting
good.
smacked around.
But this was a long match or anything.
He
But it was fun to see some heel versus heel shit.
he was looking a little rough again in this one. I guess the new is worn off, so the cameras aren't glowing on him, or the lights aren't glowing on him the way they were when he first broke in. But it made me wonder, though, is he the pretty one of him and Slater? I mean, if Beautiful Bobby's the beautiful one, is Greg Valentine
That's one.
the handsome one of the team?
Unattractive.
You can also even say it's like,
I mean,
Bobby looks a little bit better here. I think he's got a little bit nicer of a haircut, but like,
take Michael P.S. Hayes out of these 6 guys. Is Arn Anderson the prettiest of the 5 of them?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bobby's potentially the best boyfriend, but that doesn't mean that he's the best looking.
We then go to JR, and he's with Bruno Sammartino. And Bruno says he's thrilled to be there and sees the wrestling that he knows and loves here in WCW.
Hell yeah, dude.
What I've been seeing for the past 10 years with that other league is a total embarrassment.
Oh, man, I love the shade.
I was just like, he did not just throw shade.
That kind of shade. He was the guy.
Yeah.
In all of that part of the country.
But then he became this guy after he left that company, though, where all he does is bitch and moan about
It's fine.
about them. And yeah, they changed, but you got too old. So unfortunately, back then they didn't hold people on until they were in their 60s, making them get into the ring. You gotta let it go, Bruno.
Yeah. I mean, different kind of wrestling at the time. But this is more on par with the kind of wrestling that he was doing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he was. It's not like he was on top in Memphis or something.
Yeah, I mean, he headlined Madison Square Garden over and over and over and over again. But yeah, he didn't have quite that Hogan character.
Well, I mean, that wasn't the way it was. That's all created by
the Mac Man.
V2.
So we then go to the VIP room, and Teddy Long's there, has Gordon Solie and Andre the Giant standing next to him before he turns to bring in Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Woo, Bullet Bob.
And Bob says, I've had the pleasure to wrestle on the very first card on TBS, and now all of my sons have wrestled on TBS as well. Long then brings in Thunderbolt Patterson, and he's so happy to be there.
He's like the happiest man ever.
His promo's nice. I remember being like, oh, this was genuine.
Teddy then sends us to an interview via satellite to Hawaii with Mr. Wrestling 2.
Who's living his best old man life? So cool.
Mr. Wrestling 2 is a NWA Professional Wrestling and WCW Hall of Famer.
And you know what he tells us?
What does he tell us?
If you want to watch real wrestling, you got to watch WCW.
Company shill.
I mean, have you seen my attire this evening?
JR and Jesse then throw it to a video of Ted Turner.
That's always good to watch.
And he basically pats himself on the back for bringing wrestling to his network.
And it being one of the longest running programs since he's been the god of television. He doesn't, of course, say that about himself, but he also does the same thing all these other wonderful old men have done. And says that he's glad to see it going back to the traditional style, or a traditional style.
As long as it makes him money, he doesn't care.
Yeah, we'll see how long.
We'll figure that out later. But
see how long he cares about that traditional style.
He's here to take angles.
It then comes back to Ross and Ventura, and they hope to find out what is going on with the light heavyweight title. Maybe we'll find out after the commercial break.
What is the problem? There's a great deal of controversy.
Yeah. Insert scrapbooks.
Exactly.
All my children of wrestling.
Mama Cornette.
Tony Schiavone's then in the VIP lounge with Cowboy Bill Watts. And he lets us know that Brad Armstrong, the current light heavyweight champion, as he had won the belt from Scotty Flamingo at a house show a couple months prior.
Flamingo...
Because Flamingo beat
Pillman, yeah, but I was expecting Flamingo to still have the title.
And now Brad Armstrong has beaten him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why don't we watch that clash?
It was at a house show. It wasn't on TV.
I know. Like we need to watch Flamingo lose the belt.
Exactly. But Armstrong is injured after recently wrestling the Great Muta in Japan.
I'll allow it.
Watson says that since the belt hasn't been defended in over 5 weeks, the title would be vacated and a tournament will be held soon to determine a new champion.
Z-Man.
You guys want to take a guess when that tournament would be held?
Saturday night?
Yes, I don't know. Yesterday?
1996.
What? So this is the end of the light heavyweight title until 96?
This is the last...
Come on.
The light heavyweight title
serious?
is dissolved, and the next time we see anything, it will be considered the cruiserweight champion.
Yeah,
It's not
because
the
I mean,
same
Really?
line.
it's Bill Watts, and he doesn't give a fuck about the
hates light
cruiserweights
But
or light
well,
heavyweights.
this is upsetting.
Ventura's then consoling Brad Armstrong, and Brad says, "I'm upset that I'm injured. Feel like I've let down my family. I mean, your dad's there to see you wrestle."
Yeah.
How many times does your dad ever get to see you defend a championship?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you kind of did, buddy.
Brian Pillman then comes walking out,
Oh my gosh.
He is.
and he says, "It's very disappointing. The situation is a total disgrace. My fans are upset
Millions of fans.
that we had to watch this piece of garbage
Oh my god.
hobble out here and declare that he's scared, that he's a coward." And then he calls Armstrong scum and slaps him.
He also tells him that his dad is disappointed in him, which is like even worse than all the other things. It's like, come on, man.
And I was all like, "Yay, heel turn!"
Yes. It
And
was.
you have-
I mean, it's a beautiful heel turn. It's like and we saw a touch of this with the Z-Man, but like Pillman is like cranked it up since those interactions.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty good.
This is when.
And by pretty good, I mean it's really good.
This is when the fun of Pillman really begins, because you know.
And
He's such a good
and
babyface,
we've
though.
loved
We've loved him this far.
He's a great babyface.
Yeah.
But like his heel energy is scary.
Yeah.
It's like legitimately like, what the fuck, man?
And then I just liked how.
And the way that Brad sells it, he's just like, what is this energy you're bringing
Oh
towards
yeah,
me?
that's what I was gonna say. His words were basically man, brother, mother, brother, man, brother, man.
But it doesn't.
That's
it
all he
feels.
said.
But it still feels like he's being bombarded.
Oh, yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like he's just like going through the motions. He's like, hey man,
I
chill
mean, it's
out.
basically like
it's
he's like,
it's good.
"What? I don't understand where this weird energy is coming
Yeah,
from."
it legitimately
at
feels
all."
like, when you see somebody freak out on somebody in public out of nowhere, and you're like, this guy is was totally not ready for
I
that.
wonder if they told Pillman, just go out there and,
Yeah.
you were supposed to go out there and cut this nice happy thing about how, it's okay, buddy, we'll do this next time. And no, go out there and just beat the shit out of him. Degrade him. Tell him his dad is disappointed in him.
Oh my god.
JR then throws it to another retrospective video, this time full of singles competitors. And we see highlights of Dusty, Stan Hansen, Ron Garvin, Tony Atlas,
Yeah, we never
Magnum
really seen Atlas.
TA, Buzz Sawyer, Mr. Wrestling 2, The Great Kabuki, Ted DiBiase, Cowboy Bill Watts, Wahoo McDaniel,
Who broke Wahoo's leg?
The Masked Superstar, Jimmy Valiant, King Kong Bundy,
Jimmy Boogie Woogie Valiant.
The Spoiler.
I don't know
I'm
who
sure
that.
you
I
guys
don't.
knew who the
That was
Spoiler
the only one
right?
I was like, I don't know who that is.
The Iron Sheik, Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, Terry Funk, Tommy Rich, and Roddy Piper.
Why the fuck they have to throw
But-
Tommy Rich in there?
Tommy Rich looked good.
He's
here.
a
He looks
former
good.
NWA
Yeah.
champion,
Oh,
sir.
I was fine with
know.
Tommy Rich. I just, we haven't watched great Tommy Rich. We didn't see him in his prime.
No, we got to see old boring ass
We'll leave Tommy. We've dug into him enough.
Wildfire.
Yeah.
We then get to see the ad for Halloween Havoc again.
Spin the wheel.
Make the deal. JR and Jesse then send it to a video package of Ron Simmons. And it shows Ron working out, playing some football, wrestling, including winning the championship.
And this,
Which we
some of
covered a
this
couple
promo
weeks
is what we saw. I remember raving about it shows ago, where it was like, when they started to kind of feel like they were
building.
pushing him, but like he obviously, I was assuming this was when his title run was going to happen, and it didn't. But they used some of that package again, because I still think that package is incredible, and they used a good amount of it in this. It's cut down, but it's a lot of the same footage, and it looks
Absolutely. So we're headed off to the third match, Cactus Jack versus Ron Simmons for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
great. I love new gear, and I love Ron Simmons' black and gold gear. Looks good.
The two men with some mat wrestling to get us going until Jack delivers a running headbutt. Cactus Jack throws Simmons out to the floor, but Ron is up to his feet immediately, which stops Jack from doing any more damage. Back in the ring, Cactus Jack begins to bite and claw at Ron's face, only for Simmons to run Jack into the turnbuckle. Ron charges in, but eats a big boot, followed by a Jack clothesline to send both men over the ropes to the floor.
And that big boot is that the highest Cactus ever lifted his leg. It was incredible. It was like a standing split. It blew my mind. I had to rewind it a couple times.
Cactus Jack continues the attack with a swinging neck breaker on the floor, head slam on the apron. Both roll back in, and Jack sets up for the double arm DDT.
No.
But Simmons backs him into the corner to escape. Ron then charges in, only to receive another big boot and a clothesline. Cactus Jack with multiple short arm clotheslines to get a 2 count. A headbutt battle breaks out, which Simmons wins, climbs up to the second rope, coming off with a face plant for a 2 count.
I popped for the headbutt fight, but you knew that I would.
Ron then hits multiple 3-point stances for near falls, a really bad looking backdrop, and a clothesline, but Jack pulls Simmons out of the ring by his tights.
Can you get a good backdrop off of old CJ?
Maybe not.
I mean, come on, we can't blame that one on Ron.
Jack goes out to body slam Ron and follows with an elbow drop off the apron, but Simmons is right back up and into the ring. Ron then reverses an Irish whip, hits a spine buster, and a power slam for the pin and the win. It was like they had a 12-minute match planned out, and then right before they went out, they were like, you only have 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Ron gets hit with that elbow drop off the apron, and then he just stands up and goes inside and hits the spine buster and power slam. And it's like, all right, we're done.
I like Cactus Jack's new spot in the company where he's just everyone's like first defense for the heavyweight title. It's like, oh yeah, you just have a match with Cactus Jack. Like, just throw him in here. Like, it'll be fun.
He bumps for you.
Yeah, it's like he bumps for you. He'll make you look good. Like, and we can make it a gimmick thing. We can make it not a gimmick thing. He'll lay down for you without any like lame backstage politics. Like, we got this. He'll rake your face and look like the bad guy. Like, you know what I mean?
JR and Jesse then send us to highlights from the G1 Climax, which we covered 2 weeks ago. I guess they showed some of the matches on episodes of WCW Saturday Night.
Yeah, I thought that was cool that they did
Yes.
that. I was like, oh, like, hell yeah. Like, that's cool that it's not just a thing where we're like, yeah, like, we can went over here and we talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's nice to know that they were talking about this and actually doing the teammate thing of being like, hey, let's hook up.
Yeah. They then show an interview with Rick Rude, and he challenges Masahiro Chono to a rematch for the NWA World's Championship.
Here for it.
JR is then joined by Cactus Jack and the Barbarian. And Jack says, Simmons was the better man tonight, but I found a man who could. I told Dan Spivey to stay home.
Boo.
I figured you would cheer Dan
I was
Spivey
kinda
staying
thinking-
home.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, sorry. You said his name and it was a gut reaction.
Okay.
But I've got a man on our side who knows Ron better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Barbarian's new tag team partner, Butch Reed.
That's cool. That's fun. I was like, all right, I like this little angle. Going back a little bit in Rick Rude's promo, it didn't really make sense in what he was saying, but he said second verse same as the first, and I was like,
But
is
you
Rick?
lost.
Yeah, but I was like, is Rick Rude a Ramones fan? And I popped for that because I'm a Ramones fan, and you know, everyone out there that's ever listened to Ramones, we all know second verse same as the first.
We then go to our fourth match, the Barbarian and Butch Reed versus the Natural Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham.
Remember when Butch Reed was the natural?
Good point.
Remember when he was Hacksaw?
I think they refer to them again.
I think they
In this
did.
one.
I think,
Hacksaw's
I think Jim Ross
Hacksaw Butch
does.
Reed's a cool name.
Yeah. Hacksaw sounds a whole lot better. The natural Butch Reed just, especially
Considering he's
him at
not
the time.
particularly a natural. Like Dustin Rhodes, it's like, oh, we've
Your dad's
put enough
Dusty.
praise on Dustin
Yeah.
Rhodes.
Yeah.
We know the deal.
You're bound to be a natural. Your dad is Dusty Rhodes.
And
Butch Reed, I
Cactus-
don't know who your dad is.
Cactus Jack is joining commentary for this
His
match.
dad is Mr. Reed. Yeah, Cactus Jack on commentary. I was like, this will be fun. He does that little his like squealy pig voice.
Yep. And you know I love that.
It's good.
If I could get a cameo for Mick Foley, I just want him to send me a link that I can download as a ringtone.
Oh, that's your way.
Old
You'll
school.
always hear it.
Yep.
Rhodes starts on Barbarian but can't take him down with multiple shoulder tackles. But a sunset flip and a lariat by Windham does the trick, followed by stereo drop kicks on both Barbarian and Reed to knock them to the floor.
That's how you start a little tag match. Come on.
Barbarian goes low on Barry, attempts a press slam, only for Windham to slip out and roll him up for a 2 count. Butch and Dustin are both in, with Reed charging into a big boot. The Natural then charges in, only for Butch to move, sending Rhodes flying to the outside. Back in the ring, Reed and Barbarian with a double clothesline and begin to work over the Natural's back with a backbreaker, guillotines on the ropes, clubbing forearms, axe handles, swinging neckbreaker, clothesline, a power slam into a turnbuckle,
He's getting beat up, man.
body slam, elbow drop,
Come on.
Jeebus.
second rope, axe handles.
Oh, come on.
They unloaded the arsenal.
Yes, and when Dustin, like, before that laundry list of, like, ass kicking, Dustin's bump to the floor is pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
He really goes for it, and I was, like, legitimately afraid when he, like, because you can see him go over and then you can hear the splat, and you're like, ugh, Jesus. Because we don't have any mats out here.
No.
It's concrete, baby. I don't know if it's we can't afford mats or, you know, we're just badass.
It looks
More
better.
badass.
Yeah, I know they're more badass.
You get a better concussion when you have no mats.
Rhodes starts firing up with elbows. Butch goes for a pile driver, but Dustin reverses it into a back body drop. And then the two men both hit clotheslines for a double KO. The Natural begins crawling to his corner for the hot tag. Windham in with fists of fire, back body drop on Barbarian, knocks Reed off the apron, drop kick to Barbarian, lariat to Butch, running lariat to Barbarian, and sets him up on the top rope and delivers a superplex. But instead of making the cover, Barry realizes that Reed is on the top rope.
Oh my
so
God.
he goes and press slams him off.
Come on.
Rhodes and Windham then with a double drop kick to send Butch out to the floor. But Barbarian has recovered and hits a kick of fear to Barry for the pin and the win.
The kick of fear?
Kick of fear, really?
That was what it was called.
Hey, well, it's a bad name, but whatever.
I mean, it's fitting, I guess. With
It was weird to me. It's like,
Barbarian.
Dustin's your hot tag guy. Sorry, Barry, but Dustin's the hot tag guy now. But Dustin's also going to sell better and bump better. I get it. But
couldn't
I
get into
love
this
a
match.
Dustin Rhodes hot tag.
I love a Dustin Rhodes hot tag. I love a Dustin Rhodes in most matches, but I could not get into this fucking match. Just
Yeah.
there was too much on the Barbarian Butch Reed side that just made me not want to watch.
You needed that for them to win, though.
I mean, here's the thing. Did anyone actually, most surprising thing of the entire show?
Barbarian and Butch
Rhodes and Windham, who were just in a tag team championship final, 3 weeks ago, are losing to a team of Barbarian and Butch Reed.
Here's some what do you call it? Backyard quarterbacking? What is that?
Backseat driver.
Backseat driver?
I don't know.
Armchair quarterback.
There we go, I'm sure. Maybe they know they're about to lose the hottest tag team of the 90s. And they're like, all right, well, we got to spice it up a little bit. These guys can take a loss here with no title.
Mix
Heat
this
up,
shit together,
heat
see
up
if it
somebody
tastes
else,
good.
maybe.
Or
I mean, I'm sure you have the answer.
they're heating up Barbarian and Butch Reed
Yeah,
face
for Ron Simmons.
for Ron Simmons.
Yeah, which I mean, it's
Because
also,
if they're losing to Rhodes and Windham,
Then they're not gonna be Ron
Then they're
Simmons.
not. Obviously, they shouldn't be in the World
and this was
Championship.
I thought this was a totally fine loss. This match is fine. It's 8 minutes. It's 8 minutes tag match.
I mean, the match
did
is
its thing.
fine,
Yeah.
but just some of the logic behind it is a little off.
But I mean,
Boring.
Dustin did really get his fucking dick kicked in.
Yeah, it's for the most part boring. At least it was for me because I instantly get bored with Barbarian and Butch Reed. But yeah, Dustin
You leave
did
half
awesome.
of Doom alone.
Hey, I'll take the top half of Doom, I guess.
I mean, obviously, definitely the top half of Doom.
Hell, you give me Ron Simmons and Teddy Long, and I'm happy. You know, old Butch Reed can just
Kick rocks.
yeah.
I need a Doom reunion in 2020. Maybe I'll watch United States Wrestling again. Matt just got mad.
JR is then joined by Cactus Jack, Barbarian, and Butch Reed again.
That's what everybody wants.
And Jack warns Ron Simmons to have eyes in the back of his head. Because if the left one don't get you, the right one will. Bang, bang!
Yes.
JR and
How's
Jesse
he gonna
then...
grow eyes in the back of his head? I guess maybe that's on The wheel. Maybe that's on the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Make a deal.
Yeah, make the deal.
JR and Jesse then send it to a video package about the next match. And we see Shivani narration over photos of the 8 men in the match. Highlights of different matches, including Vader injuring and then beating Sting for the world title. And Jake Roberts showing up to dismantle the Stinger as well. Sting has words for the Snake. Nikita, Koloff, and Rick Rude are brawling back and into the dressing room where other heels join in attacking Nikita. And then we see the Steiners in Japan defeating Kijimoto, which is the Great Muta.
Yeah.
So we then get our 5th match. Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts, Big Van Vader, and Super Invader with Madusa and Harley Race versus Sting, Nikita Koloff, and the Steiner brothers of Rick and Scott.
Look at all this fucking big, beautiful talent, right?
In an 8-man elimination match.
Welcome to WCW's Survivor Series.
I know, but I mean, well, I won't bury the lead, but I will bury the lead.
It felt like a Survivor Series match.
Yeah, but I liked it.
And see, I liked some of it.
I'm not putting it in match of the year or anything, but we're about to talk about it.
So Rick starts off strong on Vader, only to charge into a big boot, receive a short arm clothesline, a corner splash, and another clothesline. But out of nowhere, Steiner hits a belly-to-belly to force Vader to retreat to the outside. Nikita and Super Invader both tag in, with neither getting advantage until Koloff no-sells some shoulder blocks and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. Rude and Nikita go at it for a moment until Scott is tagged in, applying a double chicken wing, but the Ravishing One is still able to make a tag to escape. Super Vader is back in, tossing Scott to the ropes, but ducks his head and receives a Tiger Driver and an overhead belly-to-belly for his mistake.
That fucking overhead belly to belly.
Yeah, that was...
Yeesh.
I've got that written down on here.
Nasty.
Steiner then goes for the Frankensteiner, but a blind tag to Rude stops the momentum with a swinging neckbreaker. Roberts is in with some classic jabs, and Vader continues the attack on Scott with some stiff shots in the corner. Irish whips Steiner to the ropes that ends up knocking the Snake to the floor and follows up with a clothesline. Rude with double throat thrusts, but Scott reverses an Irish whip to hit a tilt-a-whirl slam, allowing Steiner to crawl to his corner for the hot tag. Koloff is in with right hands on Jake, multiple hard Irish whips, a back elbow, body slam, flying shoulder blocks, and goes to run the ropes again, but is nailed with a Rude knee to the back from the apron.
So rude.
Allowing Roberts to cradle Nikita up for the pin. And Nikita Koloff is eliminated.
I mean, if it wasn't going to be him, it was going to be Super Invader.
Sting then jumps to the ring, attacking the Snake, knocking him backwards into a tag to Super Invader.
Speak of the devil.
But the Sting continues with a back body drop, a body slam,
And that face.
elbow drop, and a running faceplant for the pin.
And I love Sting's like pink pants, pink boots. So cool.
Yep.
Super Invader is eliminated.
Said what you knew before the match started.
Rick with a Steiner line on Vader, followed by a German suplex. Comes off the second rope, only for Vader to catch him and deliver a power slam.
Oh my god, no.
Vader hits a Uranagi and a middle rope splash for a 2 count on Rick. The Ravishing One then comes in with a front face lock, with Steiner working hard to make a tag, only for the ref to not see it because of a Jake distraction. Vader hits a body slam and goes up for another second rope splash, which Rick catches him for a power slam, makes the cover, but Rude breaks up the pin attempt. Vader then goes for a suplex, which Rick floats over, lifts Vader up onto his shoulders, with Scott coming off the top rope
Onto his shoulders.
to hit the Doomsday Device. But the ref sees him come off and disqualifies Scott.
It's hot. I like that. Rick, I was like, Rick, are you going to do this? And I was like, he didn't. You tried, but like
Man,
I also
tried.
don't want him to do it because I
No.
didn't want my man to die. That's my man. Like, can't have him dying out here. But you know, I appreciate the attempt, but you shouldn't have even tried.
No.
Maybe like if he like pushed him from behind into it or something, because you know Scott Steiner's a big boy. That's a lot of force.
And then there's another spot
Believable
here where
enough.
I think I have that same thing of, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
So Scott Steiner is eliminated.
smart elimination.
Rick with a Steiner line to send both him and Vader over the top to the floor, and Rude and Roberts jump in the ring to start brawling with Sting. Vader goes for a power bomb on the floor, only for Steiner to reverse it into a back body drop.
Yes.
And then the Ravishing One is rolled out to the floor as well to deliver a rude awakening to Rick. Vader then rolls back into the ring, but Steiner is unable to make it back and is counted out. So Rick Steiner is eliminated.
Oh man.
So we have Sting versus Rude, Roberts, and Vader.
I got.
Not looking good for the good guys.
No. And so, like, what is the Rick... He's been doing it a lot, but the Rick Rude, like, scissor thrust thing? It's just a double thrust?
Double throat thrust?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like, you don't see it a lot, but Rick Rude, it's, like,
Yeah, it's
become
like
a signature move of his.
It's like a thumb to the eye in a way.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, kind of dirty.
In the throat.
But...
Stinger with a sunset flip on Vader, only for the big man to just drop down. But Sting had moved in time. Stinger with a face plant on Roberts, rubbing his face in the mat. Hits a Stinger splash and locks on the Scorpion Deathlock, only for Rude to hit a clothesline from the apron to take Sting down. Triple team on Sting in the corner, but he fights out, hitting a running face slam on the Ravishing One for a 2 count. Jake is put on the Snake Handler's glove in the corner
Oh my gosh.
as Sting hits an atomic drop, a slingshot suplex, only for Vader to come off the top rope with a splash on both the Stinger and Rude.
But the slingshot, that he uses... I guess that's what it is when he uses the rope. It's beautiful.
That
I love
splash
it.
looked
Love it so much.
Bad, because he basically came down on Rude's head.
Yeah, it was a little nasty.
So the ref must have eyes in the back of his head because he saw Vader come off the top rope as well, because he was literally turned looking at
I would
Roberts
argue
in the corner.
that all good refs have eyes in the back of their head.
So Vader
Should.
is disqualified and eliminated. Jake then grabs the Ravishing One, drags him over to the corner to make a tag, then grabs Sting and hits the DDT
Oh my gosh.
for the pin and the win. So Ravishing Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts are your winners.
And that finish of him pulling him to the corner and making the tag,
Yeah.
so good.
That was good. There was just, I don't know. There's a little too much slop in this match for me.
Come on, though.
It was, it was what it was. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be.
And
Mine-
this will be the last time we see the Steiners in WCW for some time.
It hurts.
They head up north.
It hurts so bad. I knew it was coming, but I knew it when they got respectfully DQ'd, basically, out of this match.
So JR tells us that 88% of the vote for the top rope was positive.
Yeah.
So it will be
I
rescinded.
feel like all this phone call stuff is bullshit because their percentages are always so stupid. It's like 88%. It's like, come on. Give me 87. Give me 86. 88. It's always like 66%.
Yeah.
59%.
I
Or like
these names of
41%.
these
It's like,
12%
yeah,
that
88%. I
don't
feel
want
like it's
my
a word.
Pillman to
it
jump
was
off
probably
the top
all the
rope.
people in the crowd at this show.
Oh, yeah.
All the old timers.
Mm-hmm.
JR continues by hyping up other shows that are coming up, including Halloween Havoc.
Wait, what? Halloween Havoc's coming up?
Spin the wheel.
Make the deal.
Oh, yeah.
And then he sends it to a mini movie for Halloween Havoc.
Which is the coolest thing ever.
We see the moon is out, and Madusa opens up a door to the underground. She's
Creek.
let into a room with a group of men chanting,
Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal.
Everyone's covered in leather and liquor.
We see a Hannibal Lecter-like person in a cage before Madusa is led to a lever attached to a wheel. We then see a guy polishing his sword, and it's not a metaphor,
Damn it.
and Jake is in the corner of the room.
just smirking. You can tell that it's not shot. Like, it's shot, like, from his home.
Yeah.
Madusa is then handed different knives before going back to the lever. And all of a sudden, Sting busts into the door and the crowd goes silent.
They're all bad guys.
And for your listening pleasure, Michael is going to reenact Sting and Shane is going to reenact Jake in this mini-movie. And action.
Sting, I knew you'd come. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah, I'm here. What's the deal?
I'm going to finish where I started in Baltimore. When I get done with you, you will wish you had never been born.
You talk too much. Get to the point. What's the deal?
Relax, what's your hurry? I'm going to take my time and enjoy the moment.
Cut the crap. I don't want to have to come over there and kick your...
Sting, you don't get it, do you? You don't have a clue. Look around you. This is my playground. These are my people. I'm smiling, not you. It's come down to this. You see, the deal is on the wheel. At Halloween Havoc, your worst nightmare will come true. 12 of the toughest and most brutal matches in wrestling. You see on the wheel, there's a cage match, a barbed wire match, a death match. There might even be a mystery match. But you see, the deal is, you gotta step up and spin the wheel. Once you spin it, where it stops is what you and I are gonna do. And what happens? Well, we both go in the ring. One man comes out. The other, well, no.
You think I'm afraid of some wheel? You think I'm afraid of you?
Step out of the fog, Sting. Clear your head. You're not thinking. I'm the master of all these matches. This is a no game for me. This is fun, but it's not a game. We play it on my turf and on my terms. So good luck, Sting. You're gonna need it.
What are you waiting for? Let's do it now.
Sting grabs the lever.
Sting, grab.
And the wheel begins to spin as the crowd is chanting again. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Spin the wheel, make the deal. Roberts and Stinger's eyes lock. Lasers begin to fire out, and the screen explodes. To be continued at Halloween Havoc.
Sting, confused.
We're back to JR, and he's standing there with all the executives of WCW to say their goodbyes. And I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Clash of the Champions 20?
I'm here for the olds. The old people, the old champions, the grumpy old men. Show's solid, but I just love the big night feel of it, even though we don't quite get a big night match. But I just love the presentation of the way the show starts and the honoring of wrestling on this channel. I think that it's really cool, and they don't overdo it or jam it down your throat too hard, but I just think it's real nice. It made me feel good. And outside of that, the show's solid. I've got no huge complaints about any of the matches.
How about you, Shane?
You think I'm afraid of some wheel?
Are we doing that again?
No, I was just kidding because you paused.
Yeah. I don't know. It got off to a hot start with, you got Sting arriving on a Harley.
Oh, you're going
yeah,
that
yeah,
far.
I'm going that far back.
That's
that's how you reel in the audience.
I've never seen one.
But yeah, the first match with Steamboat and Austin, that's a legendary matchup right there that you would pay to see in any year. Hell, you could have 65-year-old Steamboat come back and wrestle 55-year-old Austin now, and I'd still want to watch it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Even if they were okay, no arm drags and no stunners, I'd be but I still want to see it.
But I don't know. It started to go a little downhill for me from there. I wanted to be excited about the Bobby Eaton, Arn, Michael P.S. Hayes duo, which I was, but then you had them going against Greg Valentine and Dick Slater, and it was just, except for that sick punch that Bobby threw at his face, because that was just bam. I don't know. It was kind of a you can't see my hand in front of the microphone, but it's like the roller coaster deal.
My thing with Clash of Champions is that it's not quite. I don't expect what I would want out of a pay-per-view. It needs to be solid big names in like solid, good matches. Like I don't even need great here. I just need to be good, so people to like hook people in and like to continue feuds and like to maybe have a title change in 8 minutes, because all these matches are only 8 minutes long. You can't get mad at an 8-minute match as long as you have the workers that are on this show.
True.
It's kind of how I feel about it. So I don't have as high expectations.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, because all the matches, they're fun.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of substance to any of them, but none of them, and a lot of it I think is because none of them get enough time.
Yeah, there's only 5 matches.
There's 5 matches. They got them in 2 hours. There's lots of the extra stuff.
The shortest match is the first tag match with Arn and Bobby.
Yeah, but the show's not an essential watch by any means. But it is a quick and fun watch.
I give it a big old thumbs up, as in like throw it on. Throw it on if you're like, I want to watch some wrestling. I don't think that you would be disappointed, and I think that all of the 20th anniversary thing really makes it really like if that wasn't there, then maybe I'd be like, yeah, this is fine. But like I think that makes it special enough that that it keeps your attention, and they really do it like tastefully.
Yeah,
in the time
it was definitely
that's
more the clips and stuff that they showed were what were keeping my attention over
some of the matches.
Actual matches. Yeah.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? There. All right. Fuck you.
Think it's time we smark it up. So, what are some of the best moments of the show?
I don't know, that little reading.
I was like,
I loved.
The mini movie is great.
The mini movie
in its
is so
own
great.
little way.
Yeah, the mini movie is great. The
times.
acting is atrocious. Like Sting, I love him to death, but he is not good as an actor in this little mini movie.
I honestly, for me, like the heel v heel tag match was something that I wasn't expecting and I was excited for, and I thought it was fun given the time allotted. I had a really good time with that, and the last match, the main event, your WCW Survivor Series match, was what I want out of Survivor Series. It was quick, everybody got their shit in, everything made sense, and it really held my attention. I really liked it.
And Hercules teamed up with Jake again. Super Invader.
Yes.
I mean, you guys are missing the best moment of all. Brian Pillman, heel turn.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Truth.
You're so right. I was thinking of the matches. But yeah, the Brian Pillman heel turn definitely got the most energy out of me, where I was just like, my hair was standing on end. I was like, oh my god.
I mean, I think that's the thing about this show is most of the best. I mean, you mentioned it basically here just a minute ago. The best moments of this show and what kept you interested in the show was not the matches. It was all of the out of ring stuff.
Yes.
I mean, the matches were
solid.
They're
we've
fun.
seen pay-per-views with like more with a lower success rate than this.
Yes.
Definitely.
But I mean, all the extra stuff was excellent.
It was super great. Yeah. Like the way that it opens with like the red carpet and the scrapbook and like the commercial breaks with all the
having
stuff.
An orgasm.
She was hot to trot. We already went over this.
How about most disappointing?
Honestly, the crowd was not exciting.
Half the crowd was
like
the
old executives
of people, so.
Yeah, and it's like I was like, I just didn't. It felt like a dead crowd, and I feel like that it might have been easier to get behind stuff without
it. There was 20 minutes of stuff happening between matches too, so
yeah. And like Ron Simmons, Cactus Jack, I expected Ron Simmons, Cactus Jack to have a little bit more like fire, go a little bit longer. It never really got to.
I mean,
the finish just kind of like happened where I was like, I needed another 2 minutes.
See, that's one of my disappointments too.
That was, like I said when we covered it, it was like it felt like they planned a 12-minute match.
Yeah.
And it got cut to like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I think
before
it was
they went
like
out
8,
because
but
Ron just goes down on that elbow to the floor, which should keep down people for at least a minute or so, you know.
Yeah, both these guys weigh the same, and one is strong.
And then
one is a buff man.
Simmons just rolls in. It's like, okay, spinebuster, power slam.
Yeah.
Game, set, match.
Yeah, it was no like Sting, Cactus Jack, no DQ match. Like it wasn't, but they didn't have the time. So but that was kind of my biggest disappointment because I wanted a better defense for Ron that kind of got to like at least half a fever pitch. Where this one just kind of was like it started and it was like, all right, I'm getting into this, and then all of a sudden it was over, and I was like, well, I want more time. Just wanted a little more time.
I mean, I disliked that the Barbarian won that match against Rhodes and Windham.
Yeah.
Because Rhodes and Windham are considered one of your best tag teams, and now you have this just like thrown together tag team just coming in winning.
But it is on Clash.
Knowing in the future that they're trying to heat up those guys.
But
I get it.
I was surprised by it, but surprised by it
that's
in a
what's
good way.
most disappointing for me is Ron Simmons is a champion. This is something that they should be doing something with and making it a big deal. And his first...
I mean, it's his first one we've seen.
Yeah, first
so
like
his first televised
defense
is against Cactus Jack, which, he's not at the level that he was, 6 years from when this show happens, but... he's not somebody that's seen as a viable contender in my eyes, just because he was the whipping boy who needed all these extra people to.
That's the thing. He takes the loss, and he's pulling strings.
But then they're building up Barbarian and Butch Reed to be Ron Simmons' opponents, and those are two of the most boring people to have one-on-one matches with.
Agreed.
And
I'm not so down on it as you guys are.
We know your Butch Reed love. It's fine.
I like Doom.
I like
Doom. We know you're
too.
wrong. So.
But when Doom fights each other, nobody wins.
I know. I've seen it before, and it was not what I wanted it to. But I also didn't hate it. I like Doom.
Like you bring in the Barbarian, you bring back Butch Reed. When is the Warlord going to show up? When are we going to get Cousin Luke coming over to have a championship shot?
If I had
they're pulling at the bottom of the barrel of people who are big but don't have the...
Simmons is the champion, but he's basically being presented as a mid-card guy.
Yeah, I'm always bummed
you've got
whenever
Austin
the head match.
and Steamboat fighting for the TV championship, and you've got the champion of the actual company fighting Cactus Jack.
Yeah, but Austin is somebody they could potentially build up. Cactus Jack is never somebody that they're going to put the title on at this point. And Austin's also pretty young at this point. And Steamboat, we all know, is a notorious flake.
They could build him up.
They could, yes, of course, but he's still.
But instead, they want to build up people like Cactus Jack and
Cactus Jack's
Barbarian,
a workhorse. He's a good character.
And Butch Reed.
How about best performer of the night?
Jake is always great. Jake's good here, but we've all been really high on Rude lately. But I don't think there's any particularly bad performances on this show. But also, Pillman's heel turn, but that's not even on the show technically, right?
I'm giving best performer to you two for the reenactment.
Well, I would like to give.
It had me.
Yeah, if the award is split in half, I'd like to glue it back together and give it to Shane because I think he performed better than I did. But I was glad that I was there for it, and hopefully I was good enough line reading so you could maybe get the nod at the Tonys, right?
You led your rhymes perfectly, man.
Thank you.
Best performer for me, I'm going to give it to a local. I'm going to give it to old Megan Sheehan at the very beginning.
That was super
her
charming.
rendition
I
of
thought
the
it was
national
very cute.
anthem.
I liked it a lot.
There you go.
Yeah. This show is good. This show is a soft thumbs up where you're it's just a soft thumbs up. You're just like, yeah.
Watch it for
no
the clips.
strong complaints.
Watch it for the opening match. Watch it for the Pillman heel turn.
Yeah.
And then do some dishes with it playing.
It's
in the
about to be
background.
fall. You wake up too early one day. It's 7 a.m. It's nice and crispy outside. You make a cup of coffee. You sit down. You watch this for 2 hours. You start your day. You've got the whole day ahead of you. This isn't a bad way to start.
Or it's 4:00 in the morning and you can't fall back to sleep. So
Oh,
pop this on,
boo.
get through the heel turn, and then wake up at the end for the mini movie.
Boo.
And now for a look back even further into the history of wrestling.
The dusty finish.
After Ric Flair and Harley Race had their classic matchup at Starrcade 1983, they would continue to feud all around the world. The two would make their way to Wellington, New Zealand on March 20th, 1984, where Race would win the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship for the 8th and final time in his career. The two would match up again 3 days later in Kelang, Singapore, where Ric Flair would take back the belt for his third reign and would hold on to it until a whirling wind of a man would step to take his chance.
I love the, like, how many times did NWA go to fucking New Zealand and Singapore? It's like, yeah, you gotta give them a title change. So fun. And it's like, oh, these aren't being on TV. I just love that idea of, it's like, oh yeah, we don't go to these countries. We gotta get them. We gotta build up the fandom.
Basically a gentleman's agreement between the two.
Oh yeah, no, it totally was. But I think that it's cool. Is all I'm saying. I like that a lot. Where I'm like, yeah, we know what's up.
Got in trouble when he got back.
Yeah.
Doing it.
It's like, yeah, you gotta give it to him. Like, do you guys want to only be? That's how you build fandom outside of
world champion. You need to go around the world.
And also, that's how you build fandom. It's like people, if WWF does a house show in New Zealand, I mean, granted, this stuff wasn't televised at the time. So, like, so you gotta change the title to keep those people interested. Because if they go there and like nothing happens of any note, then they just saw the same thing that they see on TV all the time or whatever. But I think I always love the quick title changes on tours that are never recorded. It's just like, yes, I just like it.
Next week, Halloween Havoc 1992.
Spin the wheel.
Make the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Sting.
Sting grab.
You guys excited for that one?
I'm ready for a good Halloween Havoc.
I'm excited to cover it.
I want there to be a good Halloween Havoc because we haven't seen one yet.
They've been a little rough so far.
They have.
Yeah, and it's like we've talked about it before. Incredible name for a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Still kind of hope they would bring it back.
Yeah, right. If they do, it'll just be like a Wednesday night show in Georgia.
NXT takes over Halloween.
Yeah.
Music from this week's show is the theme from Clash of the Champions and Dark Shadows by Brian Bennett. That's Jake Roberts.
The theme from...
New
that was
music.
Was that the rock song that was like pretty heavy?
Yeah.
I liked that a lot.
If you like this show or any of our other ones that we have, rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you find your podcasts at. You can always email us at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com. We're still taking recipes if you want to send us those. Shane always needs ideas.
I do. We're going to be in Philly next
Georgia
week.
a lot.
Eat a peach, man.
So if you have any Georgia recipes that you can think of, something inspiring.
We're going to do peach cobbler, peach pie,
All right,
peach
Bubba Gump over here.
Bellini, peaches over my hammy.
Peaches and cream.
There we go.
You can also hit us up on Twitter at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTOX. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.
Sting grabs the lever.
Sting grab. What are you here for? I'm still in.
Sorry.
I work. I work method.
Yeah, I missed that part. Sting grab. What the hell? Huh?
Okay, so
I'm gonna do it again.
yeah.